This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
We're down to the top 6, baby, and the grand finals are within reach. Which squad has what it takes to go all the way? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Day 4 of Champions Seoul playoffs, coming at you live once again from the COEX Artium right here in Seoul, South Korea. Of course, I'm on the desk here with Mimi and Kukuka. I am Theo Golden Boy, and I shall take care of you today. All right, we're going to have a good day. All right,
is that the way we're going? Because I'm down for it.
We're going to go that way, Mija, okay? It's going to be fantastic. But look, folks, we have so much to talk about. Let's go ahead and dive into what happened yesterday, shall we? Because we had our first elimination matches of playoffs, and we, of course, had the hometown team taking down Trace Esports. Of course, I'm talking about DRX. And I'll be honest, Mimi, this just looked like DRX in peak form and Trace having no solutions.
This was exactly the game that DRX needed. We saw them have a tough start to that upper bracket, losing out to Sentinels, but here the individuals were all popping off. The rookies were finding incredible form, and that's the great game to just build your confidence and continue that run in the lower bracket. The second one, much closer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can say the much closer on the second match, because Fnatic came out swinging. They had something to prove after the match that they had against Team Heretics, and they definitely proved it. Sadly, G2 is going to have to go home, but Fnatic is looking very good for making a lower bracket run.
I mean, you're going to have to deal with that until next season. That
final round is going to be in their nightmares.
Yes.
A 1v3 fully blind, getting spammed down like that. It's heartbreaking for G2, but for Fnatic, I mean, that's what happens. You need rounds like that, and it's, I think, huge for them to not let that second map slip away.
Yeah.
They should have won it more cleanly. G2 had a really impressive comeback to even get it so close, but still, Fnatic, I think they are in form to try and go on a run as well down there.
Totally agree with that. It's going to be awesome to see what they can put together here. Let's go ahead and take a gander at the bracket, shall we? See where we are right now in this whole shebang, because we got two big games that are going to be taking place today, and the losers of these games are going to be facing off against DRX and Fnatic. It is literally a who's who in VALORANT esports. It is exactly, I mean, look at the names of the teams there, Kukuka. It's like the biggest teams in the game right now. It's freaking
exactly.
Awesome.
At the top, today we're going to get two teams that are going to go on straight into the top 3 of champs, which is unreal. But if you lose, you might have a second chance. But we are talking about a DRX and a Fnatic that had an amazing day yesterday, that they found an incredible form and are super ready to get to that final.
Yeah, if you lose here, you're going to have to play every single day in a row until the grand finals. It is brutal. If you win, however, you have some days off, you're set up, you already have your spot in the Inspire Arena booked, and you have a chance to get that advantage into the upper final. So these games, even if there is a second chance in the lower bracket, are super critical for these teams to win if they want to lift the trophy.
It ain't gonna get easier from here. Plain and simple, that's how it rolls. But let's go ahead and take a look at our pick'ems powered by our friends at AWS. These are actually coming from our watch party, amigos. So they made their picks. Let's see who's on top right now. Oh, Sam, I peeped. Nade shot. What the hell are you doing? No, that's not Nade shot. Wait, what? Am I tripping? I see Nade shot, but that don't look like Nade that I know.
That's a new Nade shot.
That is a new Nade shot.
I think it is his spreads, though, because he was doing pretty well all throughout this one. Laz as well from the Japanese team, starting to pop off a little bit there. 112 points.
Living getting some points. Yeah, we like that. I haven't been able to check my points. Last time I was in the 3%, but I've been losing some pick-ups.
I have been boomed. Every choice I've made has been wrong. When you see the predictions, I'm sorry. Like I've just been.
Is your record rough?
I think I'm 11-12 or something like that, or maybe 12-12. I might be breaking even.
They called him the coin in high school.
That's famously my nickname. Yeah. No. I got no follow-up after that, you bum. In any case, let's dive into our matches today, shall we? Now, here's the deal. As we had talked about before, win here guarantees you top 3 in this competition, because you're going to be taking that trip to the winner bracket final, and that will be taking place at Inspire Arena next week. You got Sentinels going up against Edward Gaming. Then you got Leviathan facing off against Heretics. And what's even better about this And I didn't know it until we literally just saw it on the thing right there. First time we're seeing these matches on stage.
The SEN EDG one is crazy.
Yeah,
it's two teams that just missed each other. Once SEN came off their initial peak, that's when we started to see EDG at international events. And the second one for Leviathan, this is a team who is new to the top of the international scene. And so they're going to have a lot of fresh matchups if they want to run to the finals.
As a Spanish speaker, I don't know if we are winning or losing today. I feel like there's going to be a lot of sad people. I just expect that we get a good match. Every single match that we've gotten in playoffs has been a 2-0. I need today's games to at least one of them to go to 3 maps.
But here's the thing, even with some of them being 2-0s, there have been some spectacular maps. But if there's
we've getting both sides of the coins. We've getting like stomps. We're getting like very hard stomps and then very, very close matchups.
Yeah, if there are 4 teams that could bring it today, it's got to be these 4. If it ain't these 4, then I don't know what else to tell you, people. But for now, though, we're going to put the power in your hands. Takes us over to our MasterCard fan poll. Of course, you can scan the QR code right here. Which team is going to make a clean run to the grand final? We want to hear from you, so make sure you scan, get your results in, and we'll share it in just a little bit. And also, make sure you use those hashtags, VALORANT Champions and VCT, so we could feature your stuff on the broadcast because you're pumping out some good material, people. You're good. You're good with it. You're nice with it. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. Wait, what is going on right here? You trying to influence the vote? No, not just Mimi. Kakuka too? You're trying to influence the vote?
I don't care anymore.
You're just sending it.
Honestly, yeah. No, she's sending it.
She
I just think they're a good team.
She's sending it.
Oh my God, it's too much time.
Dog.
I gotta get rid of
That's
it.
my dog right there.
I'm not sending it.
All right, well,
I'm no longer sending it.
Let us dive into our first match, shall we? We're going to talk about some Sentinels here because they did something that we never thought we'd ever see happen. They ditched the deadlock, and then they decided to put Zekin on the Neon, which, if you talk to the members of Sentinel about this, Mimi, it was more like Zekin was kind of just jiving. He just wanted to play Neon, and he was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's played the Agent earlier in his career, but he's yet to play it in 2024, and this is the first time he's shown it at a global event. And the coordination between him and Zelsis looked absolutely on point on that Breach Neon.
Yeah.
I think this combo, when those two players are looped into each other perfectly, is so potent. Zekin was hitting all the checkpoints correctly, stopping when he needed to, speeding up and taking risks when he needed to. Sentinels, this looked like the coordination and the calling from John QT that we saw when they won in Madrid.
It's the fish, I'm telling you. It's the blobfish, right? That's what it's called, the blobfish.
Out of all the things, do you think that's it?
I honestly, it's like a death stare.
But it's also been with them the entire time.
It has been.
So it's been through the good and the bad.
Seen it all.
Yeah.
Seen it all. That's a good blobfish right there. All right, well, you know what? I want to learn a little bit more about how this Sentinels team plays with this Neon in what we like to call a Senestrator.
Don't say we. Don't say
pending. Kakuka was the one who came up with it. What you got with this, Bayo?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting to see the combination, to see how they brought in the Neon and what you can do with it. Because especially when we think about a map like Haven, even though we missed it for a long time, we know where the strong points on the map are, right? We know that the fight for A is always going to be there. And I wanted to take a look at one of the executes that they have and how they incorporate the Neon onto it. So it's a 4-4. As I say, Sentinels is going to be on the attack. And I'm just going to be playing this very slowly. We see a lot of utility trying to move the players off of DRX away from the site. Now, Sacy is going to be popping off his ultimate, but at the same time, we're going to see everybody else understanding where they have to be and how they can apply the pressure. So this is a 5-man push. So Celsius is going to be in this position. He's already using the Rolling Thunder onto the side. Zekin is already looking to see if he's going to be capitalizing on the movement that is going to be forced by both the Rolling Thunder, and the Hunter's Fury. But not only that, we also see the Paranoia coming in, forcing everybody out, and also helping Junkie T to keep putting that pressure. He also used the camera. Like, everybody has a piece of utility that has been put into making this execute happen. Now, everything's gonna happen very fast because this is what happens when you're playing Neon.
Yeah.
And everybody from DRX is going to try and stop the plant from going down. They know that the pressure is massive, and Zekin understands very well that not only he has to be the first, he has to be tanking the utility, continuing on the kills, and being on top of that chaos. Now, that is a round that is going to go for Sentinels. We know this executes, we can expect But what happens when we go to the defense? I wanted to take a look at round number 21, which is the round that Sentinels wins the map with, right? So right at the beginning, take a look at the positions. Again, it is Haven. I'm not going to rediscover anything from you because you know how this map is played. But Celsius is going to be starting off with some span, but he's going to be very aware of the fact that he needs to have second in case something happens, so he's going to have his stun ready. Sacy is going to be getting all that information also and trying to, try to get some collision onto it. Now, I'm going to play the round because DRX has a very clear idea of just doing a very heavy execute onto A as well. The camera, same one that John QT used it on the previous round, and again, generating that pressure. But, and also with the Hunter's Fury. But the moment the Hunter's Fury pops, right? The moment the Hunter's Fury pops, Celsius is going to also be using his stun. We see the same execute, right? The Rolling Thunder going onto the side. But look at the positions. Look at what Sacy does here. He moves himself off from this angle and just calls help from Zekken. And what Zekken does is also very important. Now, something that you do have with Neon that you do not have with the Jet is not only this wall that is going to force DRX to clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles that you need to be aware of once you see it. Also, you're going to have the stun because Buzz understands that once the Rolling Thunder and the Hunter's Fury is falling off, he needs to be the one getting the kills in case the utility doesn't get it. And this is where everything becomes perfect because Zekken understands that he is the one that with the stun can help Sacy survive. Not only that, he creates, again, so much chaos and so much disruption because he keeps going for the kill that he saves Sacy and gives the rest of the team the possibility to go onto side. Pops his ultimate, John QT does the same, and this is just another beautiful round from Sentinels. So everybody understands the plan, and this composition suits them so well. Like the synchronicity between all of them is just beautiful.
That's definitely the thing that we took away from that was not only did they not play it that much, but they also just look fantastic doing so.
Totally.
And that is a great breakdown on that one, Kukuka. But for now, though, let's actually go ahead and hear Sacy's take on the win over DRX in this Omen player moment.
Hello, my name is Gustavo, most known as Sacy, and I'm the initiator for Sentinels. So the first map against DRX on Sunset, I'll be honest, I felt like we had control all the time, but I felt that the communication was really chaotic. We were playing with Neon, and Neon's a really fast agent that has like fast plays, and our comms was like really messy. For me, it would be like 13-6, the ideal result, but we got so many problems with our comms that we went to the overtime. And we were kind of lucky on the 3v5 on the last round that we got us into overtime because we got some kills. I got some kills on market. They got into A. We found some kills. It was like, oh my god, we actually did it. So I was actually surprised.
In for the front of the site, Celsius sticking, sees denied, John QT domes him, and Bane's also dropped in the process, flashback, no longer for this world, straight flash, but he needs to get half, and he needs it now, the stick, the only win con, Foxy9, he's got it at least, but tagged up, stuck up, Mako, spam and sprayed!
So after the first loss on Champs against Genji, we kind of felt that we were not playing like ourselves, like we used to do. On the FPX match, we're like, guys, we just need to play our game, just have fun, because whatever happens here, we don't want to come home with regretted. We got into Champs with a different mentality, different mindset, because we worked the whole year to get here. So it doesn't matter if we're like first seed, second seed, even fourth seed, we should come here and have fun and leave this tournament without regrets, being a winner or not.
And I can tell you, it looks like they're having a grand old time out there, especially with the way that they are playing. But Mimi, it is truly incredible how this team was able to dig deep in one of the most pivotal moments of this tournament for them.
Yeah, he was saying that he felt like the cons were a little chaotic. They got a little lucky to come back into that first map, and I do think that's true. But I think that second map, once they got onto Haven, it was so much more clean. They were taking the right timings to pause in the mid-round, slow down like you were showing in your telestrator, and then re-coordinate to take that second fight and close these things out. This is Sentinels that is proving, even when they're playing a close opposition, even when they have to rely on some of those individual plays to stay in the map, they're going to be able to rally back and go back to the fundamentals that got them here in a second map of the series.
Yeah, and thinking about the opponent that they have today, yes, this is not... Okay, if you lose today, you're still in the tournament, but you want to be making a clean run. And for that, you need exactly what Mimi's talking about. Not only you know that you have your individual brilliance, you are able to change things up and play as a team and understand that sometimes you're going to go down, and that is the best thing that can happen for your team. And with players with the amount of experience that Sacy has, especially in this specific situation, I think it's brilliant to see that they can perform at this level.
Yeah.
I think the difference between what EDG showed in their match against Trace and what might happen today against Sentinels is that while both Sen and Trace have really good macro ideas, they like playing their slower attack side rounds some of the time. Obviously a little different when Sen's playing the Neon. What Sen also has is those individuals, your John QTs, even this tournament, Sacy, Tens, all these guys that can step up and have those individual moments when the round state does explode and it comes down to the chaos. That's what Trace couldn't do against EDG, but that's what I think Sen will be able to do today against that Chinese squad.
Excellent point there. And when you speak about the individuals, well, you do got to focus on two people on each, one individual on each side of the stage. You got Zekin and you also have Kong Kong. And these two players are going to be facing off against one another for the first time here. And look, they're both dynamic impact players, Kukuka. They both bring a ton of heavy firepower to the team. This is going to be what a borderline heavyweight clash here.
I am praying for the Sunset. I am praying for the Haven as well. I want to see this head-to-head, this Neon. It's not only how we were teased on stage, on social media. We want to see how these two players are going to go up against, because I agree with Mimi. I feel like Kankan has saved EDG from so many situations, so many rounds did not belong to them. They should have never won them, and then Kankan just goes completely insane and gets a 4K. We can say the same for Zekin, but we can also make the same argument for most of the players in Sentinels.
And I think the parallel goes deeper between these two players. They've never played each other at a match, at a global event, but their journeys to get here were so similar. They're both these guys that came up early on in their scene's history, made waves as a young player with insane mechanics, who's incredible on the duelist role, but quickly rose to prove to be not only that incredible duelist, but a player who can be a good teammate and who can also in a lot of ways become the face of a team, the face of a region.
Yeah, and here's another really interesting dynamic. So apparently, like Zekin is kind of and Kong Kong are like parallels of one another within the Chinese region. They asked nobody about the matchup. He says, I only have one thing to say, RZKK better player is better than yours, which is what they call Zekin out there as well in China, which is pretty cool.
They're joking that Kong Kong, ZMJJKK, is the same as Zekin, ZEKK.
Yeah,
and
not confusing at all.
And honestly, I love that confidence from EDG.
Thinking about that. They just see that on the camera.
So good, so good. But yeah, you know, and that I think goes to show both teams' confidence for each other today, right? You got to put confidence in Zekin. He has always been a consistent player. When he doesn't perform, you notice it. Same thing can be said for Kong Kong. Let's go ahead, though, and move on to his squad. We got Edward Gaming. Now, this is going to be a Chinese squad that picked up their first ever quarterfinal win over a regional rival in Trace Esports. This is a deep run that they're making in this tournament. They looked really good in the process, and let's be honest here, I mean, Kukuka, they had Trace's number even regionally, so I think coming into this matchup, Trace was certainly going to be in a bit of a bind.
Trace was facing their demons, and it looked like they had PTSD, really. Like they were not having fun out there, and as I said, Kankan was winning some of this round. That made no sense. Like, how can you, there's nothing that you can do against a player like this that feels so comfortable against you, that has no fear, that understands and knows so well how you play and how you develop in many different scenarios. But today's Beast is a completely different one. Yes, of course, both teams want it so bad, but I feel like the form that we see from Sentinels, it's still one step ahead.
Yeah.
EDG has been to playoffs of international events before. They've gone on runs, but one thing they have never done is make it to the top 3. They've never been there in the biggest arenas that this game has to offer. They've never had an opportunity to make it to a grand finals, and they've already made history in that first match because it was the very first time they won a quarterfinal, that they're not playing from the lower bracket to begin with. We thought that Trace might be the team who kind of took over for China. EDG proved they are still the best, and they have a chance today to show that China is ready to be a region in that top 3 and finally break through that barrier as one of the best in the world.
I agree. I think that 2024 as a whole has been a breakout year for Chinese Valorant. First, we had FPX there in China. To me, honestly, I'm going to say it again. Justice for FPX. Well, I need to see more from them. I need them to see it going deeper. I think that they could do such cool things when we get to playoffs. But for Trace Esports to make it out as first groups in the first Champions League that they attend on, if EDG is to win today, just with that, just making it to that top 3, I would say is a 9 out of 10 year for China.
Massive achievement indeed. Well, earlier on, Yinsu had an opportunity to catch up with EDG. Simon, let's go ahead and hear what he had to say.
I'm now joined by Simon from EDG and Luna here to do some translations as well. Now, Simon, this is your first big event on the global stage. You already have an opportunity to fight for top 4 in such a crazy situation, high pressure situation. So how do you keep calm and collected and cool in these situations?
我本来就不太会有压力，也不太会紧张。
I actually didn't feel that much pressure. I'm not those kind of people who will be too nervous.
All right, it's going to be a good asset to have. Good luck today.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about Chichu, because everyone's hopping on the Chichu train over here. He's been unreal, steamrolling through people, and I love me some train puns, Mimi. You know all about that. But genuinely, the man has been fantastic.
That's so beautiful. I love that for you, Team V. But yeah, Simon there is saying, as a rookie player, he doesn't feel that pressure on stage. And I think a big part of that is that he's surrounded by such experienced players, one of whom is Chichu, who has always been excellent when it comes to these global events.
Especially when we talk about the solo plays, we know that Kankan is brilliant, but he's set up in many of these situations, right? Even for the attack. Chichu, you're mostly going to be seeing alone. At the first one, we saw him playing on buy and just going alone on hookah, getting 3, just having that super good individual level and just being able to be on the look, be in that surprise. And I think it is a very good ace to have on your sleeve when you're going deeper into the tournament.
Yeah, we see a lot of chaotic moments from this team where it ends up kind of coming down to clutches, coming down to big moments, and Chichu is the guy who almost always delivers, and I think it's just so impressive that he's done that so consistently across all these different global events.
Yeah, well, of course, you know, we'll see how this plays out for EDG, but let's actually go ahead and hear from Simon yet again in this Omen, player moment.
大家好，我是 EDG 的 Simon。大家都觉得 EDG 是个很强的队伍。自从我加入 EDG 之后，我就蛮怕自己打不好的，但是我还是想在世界赛上证明自己，跟队伍一起打得更好。谢谢大家的支持，我们会拿到冠军的。
But it goes back instantly. Bianca still trying to hold towards Hookah. And just one by one they face, and one by one they fall.
下一场我们要打 Sentinels。我觉得他们是个很强劲的队伍，不管是枪也好，还是技能搭配也好，但是我们会有更好的协同性击败他们。然后我觉得我们要做的就是打好我们的东西就行了。
And they're saying that they just need to play their best. They're looking to outshine them with the teamwork. But if there is one thing I can comfortably say about this EDG team, is that when they want to play some structured Valorant, they'll do it. When they want to get in the mud, they'll do it. They'll drag you into the mud with them if they want to. And I think that is the impressive part about this squad.
It's interesting, too, because we call it mud, and it looks like it. But I think, in particular, that Trace game they just played, it wasn't the rounds getting out of their control and needing to rely on individuals.
Sure.
I think their game plan was actually contact up, explode these sites, and actually explode the round state, because they just trust that they can be better in those situations.
Yeah,
and that's where you see the depth of this team.
Yeah.
I like to see them calm and collected as we're seeing them on stage right now, because I do think that one of the big keys to winning against Trace Esports is that not only they knew them very well, they knew what they were lacking as a team, what they were lacking compositionally, but going up against a team from another region for the first time is definitely going to be a different beast. So seeing them like that, it makes me feel like they've taken this time to really study them.
But it's fascinating on both sides of the field. Sentinels are going to be experiencing the same exact thing, having to go up against EDG and Chinese Valorant and the pace that they like to play. It's really awesome. But now, before we get into today's first match, let's go ahead and weigh in on what's been happening off our stage. And it's time for good take, bad take. That's right, baby. We got another segment. Haha. All right, so let's do this here. Now, the way it's going to work is we're going to look at the Champs discourse on social media.
I love
and then we're gonna,
discourse.
that's right. And then we're gonna highlight some takes and give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And strongly agree, strongly disagree. You know, I mean, just roll with us. You can agree with us or disagree with us in the chat. All right, number one, numero uno. What do we have over here? Isn't this already left? This is from Zelsis.
He's saying that they're Osbus and 4Cats, and that is unbelievably false. Look at the performance players like King, like Mazzino are putting up consistently for this roster. Osbus is the GOAT, but he's not the only great player on that team.
I will say a couple of things. One, having 4Cats sounds like a dream. That's why it's not a strongly disagree.
That's why I did strongly disagree. His kitties are adorable.
Yeah.
But they're not already.
But wait, let me say what I was going to say. The other day, I think that it was proven, and it said a lot about Aspas and about Lev as a team, that on Icebox, he was not performing. He was not achieving what he was supposed to with the operator. Sometimes those things happen. They still won. They still put up such a good performance. And that is what makes Aspas also such a good player, is that he doesn't overheat. He doesn't tries to overcompensate when things are not going well. So disagree.
Okay, but you're saying disagree because they're not literally 4Cats, but you should be strongly disagree because literally they are four human men.
Do not disparage the kitties. All right, moving on to number 2. Let's see, good take, bad take. What we got over here. This is from Real Razzie saying, the hopium is real, we cookin' or nah, thinks that Leviathan will win and it'll be a Sentinels Leviathan final.
I'm going to say strongly disagree.
Strongly disagree.
Because it says the G2 won against Fnatic yesterday and I didn't see that happening.
Yeah, chat.
Even if we're just looking to the future, I think Sentinels.
You can do that?
Yes, I
she
can.
has the power.
And I'm going to tell you I disagree, so that's all you need to know if I can.
I'm just saying I strongly disagree because I don't think it's going to be Lev Sen in the finals, but I can see a world that Sen will be in the finals. All right, let's see. Number 3 is from Nate Shot. Hey, buddy. True life. I'm addicted to Valorant. If I wasn't a streamer, I'm pretty sure this game would have ruined my life. Praying for all of you folks trying to balance work, school, and relationships. Thank you for letting me play this game like a degenerate every day for a living.
Let me be real for a second. I like my job. The worst part about this job is having to watch Valorant all the time and not being able to play that much. Because I would play so much more if I was at home instead of on the laptop setup.
Like Asia and stuff. You can't play.
Yeah, you need a different account. It's all this rigmarole. Dude, I'm so addicted during the offseason.
At least in Americas, you have better scheduling, but when you're working in the EMEA, we finish up so late that it is impossible. And after, like, when you're having a long day of Valorant, you go home and your friends are like, yo, you want to play? And I'm like, no, I want to go to bed.
I want to sleep because I've been working all day. All right, let's see. Our next take, thank you for that one, Nate Shot, common viewer. Who's our next one here? We got, artist, I know that guy. Best player in the world, Durka.
Overreaction to one game. Durka's a great player. I don't think you can argue any one player is the best player in the world right now, even if his form is great.
Well, I did tweet the other day that Chronicle is the best player in the world, so...
And I disagree with that, too. I think he's also a great player, though.
I'm going to agree. I think it's a good clout tweet. I'm going to give that to Artis. Yeah. He has some, and then Artis has a good take.
He mostly has bad takes, but this time it was a relatively
Never seen this guy have a good take in my life.
All right.
If he has the Chinese flag today on stream, though, EDG is losing.
Oh,
he's the ultimate curse.
I am not opening up that can of worms. Next up, do we have another one? I think we have one more, maybe, for good take, bad take. We'd like to see what our last... Oh, wait a minute. I think we don't have it right now.
Do you have a take, GD?
Do I have a take? You know what? I actually do have a take.
What's your take?
This is my last day today, so I'm going to make a bold call, bold prediction.
Do we have the mild?
It's going to be Sentinel. Oh, that's my tweet. I know that guy. And a Puerto Rican flag on the stream. Pop off. Chronicle is best player in the world. I tweeted that because I'm a gosh darn genius.
Too early to
Hear me out. Since it doesn't have a date, and at some point I believe he was, I'm going to give you...
Thank you.
I strongly agree.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the winningest player in Valorant for a reason. He's absolutely excellent. His consistency is insane. But
I also tweeted that after.
It's so soon to say.
I tweeted that after I saw the 3K. I tweeted it after I saw the 3K while he was blind.
The clutch.
While he had.
But that wasn't even. That wasn't even a a showing of his actual good level.
Doesn't matter.
Out of all the things that you could have said for Kron, you go for that.
He had x-ray. He saw through it. He saw
didn't.
through the mud.
He literally saw through nothing. He was a flash. There's a wall
I'm
in front of him.
convinced he has omnipresent sight or something like that. The man is a
He
wizard.
doesn't even use a monitor.
All right, now let's see our Mastercard fan poll results. Earlier, we asked you lovely people which team is going to be making the clean run to Grand Champions or Grand Finals at Seoul, and you all said Sentinels.
Sentinels, Sentinels,
Shocker.
Sentinels, Sentinels,
What do you mean
Sentinels.
all?
Shocker.
What do you mean all?
Well, not all, but it
57
was
is not all.
That's true. That's true. Yes, you're right. Over half of you said Sentinels. Here are the predictions today, Santissimo. Okay.
That's why they call him the coin.
I have decided I am not going to support a single EMEA team. I'm not going to vote for them just because I will never curse them. And I promised Benji that I will not vote for them.
I do think only one person predicting EDG might be underselling them a bit. They've had a great event thus far. I think they've shown really good team play, but also the ability to thrive when the game gets muddy. This has been the event for China thus far, but the question is if they can go all the way.
Yeah, today we got some banger matches. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So let's go ahead and get this show started because we got Sentinels facing off against EDG. Then after that, it's going to be Leviathan going up against Team Heretics. Are you freaking kidding me, folks? It's day 4 of Champions Seoul playoffs, and guess what? It's starting right now.
Not being a champs 2023 last year, it's kind of tough. Especially like watch my old teammates there, watch Naspas. Even like 1 year after I won the champs, I was like, damn, like I felt so sad. I tried to promise myself that I would work harder than I did in 2023 and see where it takes me from here.
That experience shining through.
大家都觉得 EDG 是个很强的队伍，我就蛮怕自己打不好的，但是我还是想在世界赛上证明自己。
Facing EDG is gonna be fun. It's hard to say what I expect from them because I'll be honest, you kinda can't know what to expect from the Chinese team so far on this tournament.
EDG looking so damn strong.
下一场我们要打 Sentinels， 我觉得他们是个很强劲的队伍，不管是枪也好，还是技能搭配也好，但是我们会有更好的协同性击败他们。
Just need to play our game, just have fun. We don't want to come home with regrets. The only thing that we can control is ourselves.
I'm happy we played Leviathan. It's really exciting. They're a team that you must respect them. Otherwise, yeah, they're just gonna smash it.
I always love playing new teams I've never played. But I think they're a pretty good team. They take their individual timings, they have really good individual players, and they have a lot of energy in the game when they play.
I don't think Leviathan played against a team like us. I think they're gonna be a little bit in shock by how good some of the things we do are.
It's down to Munchkin again, but this time it's Heretics coming out on top.
This match is gonna be about who can adapt faster.
I came from Ascension. It was a long road. Now I'm here in Champions. I'm going to lift that trophy and show everyone I'm one of the best players in the world.
America's #1 for a reason, Leviathan.
Edward Gaming. Sentinels.
And it doesn't get any better than this. Regional heavyweights, prolific teams from China and the Americas clash on this stage for the very first time, and the winner locks up top 3 in one of the most exciting and pivotal Valorant tournaments of all time.
SEN have been there and done that. They lifted the first ever trophy this game had to offer on a global stage. They did the same in Madrid, but EDG have been fighting for 2 years to make it to an arena. They're coming off a disappointment in Shanghai with a chance now to make their first ever top 3 for themselves and for China.
And as we're looking at the maps, Haven is going to be the first testing ground. We were talking about it. We wanted to get that head-to-head, that neon head-to-head, and I think it's going to be amazing to see. Not only that, EDG feeling comfortable after what they saw the other day from Sentinels, that this is where they want to go.
Kong and Zekken have never played against each other before. In that video, he said that they wanted to beat Sentinels on their team play, that they would be better than them in that regard. I think this is a chance to prove it. Playing a similar comp, bringing out the coordination on that Neon agent that can be so hard to set up properly. This is Kong's chance to prove it.
Yeah, and you know what? Something I want to take away from that series layout is I genuinely feel like everyone got what they wanted. Honestly, every map, you look at the records on each and every one of these maps, it is good for each team. They have performed at Champions on these maps. So at this point in time, you're going to see 2 teams go right in the middle of the squared circle, and they are going to just go right hook for right hook, left hook for left hook. This is going to be a genuine clash between teams that honestly have every reason to be confident in this BO3.
Just remember that top 3 is so close to them.
It's so close. It's right there for EDG. And of course, we're seeing the lock-in. We got 2 Neons locked in on each side. We are going to see some clashes here, Mimi.
And you go down pound for pound and you look at the matchups that we have here. Zekken against Kong on the Neons. 2 players that have defined their regions. TenZ versus Smoggy. TenZ, this is his first year playing that controller role. And Smoggy as well, another duelist who switched over to that and has looked so damn good.
I want to see how EDG is going to deal with the aggression, like how they're going to be aggressive, how Sentinels is going to be shutting that down. That is why, for some reason, I'm just looking at Junkyuti for this one, especially the first half.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, let's get into this one, baby. We got ourselves a banger on our hands. And, oh, boy, look who's casting a Sentinels match. It's a contractually obligated Brennan Sideshow. Would you look at
not
that?
just that. I mean, we snuck in EDG in there this time as well. We covered most of their games as well. It just so happens to work out this time around. EDG versus Sentinels. The energy levels, Josh, I mean, listen, they're all the way up here, and I feel like both of these teams are going to be able to meet that pound for pound, blow for blow on these maps. The desk has already kind of laid it out. It's a map pool where both teams are going to be comfortable.
Oh, super comfortable. You're going to get some serious high-level Valorant here today. Assuming that all of the players turn up, because both teams like to stress each other out too. They're going to force gunfights at times, lean on that confidence, and your form needs to be good on the day. I gotta be honest though, the battle that's drawing my eye immediately is Kong versus Zekken on the Neon matchup. EDG are predicting a B round pistol here. You see them with nobody watching over towards A long as Sentinels were trying to sneak up C. The game was given away.
Yeah, smoke is propped up in the face of Zekken, but it's still util ready and waiting over the shoulder. Here's the fault line. The relay bolt just ricocheting wildly. It's going to be that split in through, but still they don't have backside control. EDG making sure to flood in with a couple of players, but the pause is called and an evacuation by SEN. They don't want anything to do with the C site.
Where are they going though? Because Kong waiting here on B gets caught.
No way, Sheriff in his hands. He felt like he was almost good for the one, but with him dropped, EDG gearing up for a bit of an attempt through this one, just biding their time, waiting in the smoke, and they hear the rumble of the footsteps. Nobody is going to be tested. A lot to overcome into this spot with the movement. Clean up and over, but here comes the pincer. Crunch from behind, EDG. Leaving no stone unturned. They cleared away mostly through, and Sacy's now the one who has to hold down the line.
TenZ got stuck on that pivot. Sacy sees them, stun.
It's a pixel angle that he's working with here, but the damage is being dished out. Sentinels left scrappy, and it's down to Zelsis trying to tap with the ghost. Not enough to cool down the weapon in his hand. Simon the rookie steps up, squares up, and seals up that opening pistol round.
Was the stun from Zelsis not good? Or did EDG just hit 2 absolute banging shots there to take out their opponents on SEN? TenZ got caught in that A-link pivot. But I think overall the macro ideas were good. Yeah, the stun didn't quite catch onto anybody other than Chishu. But even so, I mean, that's a pretty ridiculous kill from him. He's happy about that one. A great start for EDG. Both of these teams confident in their Haven gameplay. We've seen them both play Havens. We're really high level already in this tournament.
I'd hard agree with that. I think EDG as well, they're trying to put that best foot forward. This is an important match for a variety of reasons. Listen, it's not just the biggest event of the year, but as the desk was mentioning, it's one of their best opportunities to break past that previous ceiling they kind of reached, I suppose, at other events where they've only got 5th, 6th. If you win here, you get that minimum of top 3.
And they've never even been able to replicate that 5th/6th finish at a tournament. It took outrageous performances from Kangkang, putting on an all-star operator.
Yeah. Attempt as well
Spike down
from
B.
Sentinels to see if they can get that easy plant down, but it's already read by EDG.
I think a really crucial strategic tool for Sentinels is going to be applying pressure to nobody. You see how he's just holding A long in this round on his own. Sentinels need to be able to shove him off, and EDG have lots of different ways that they can trap around this. It's getting not risky so much, but economically damaging, and in the midst of all of this, TenZ has snuck his way in a little.
Yeah.
Given away his position, unfortunately. Kind of had to.
I don't think there should be any danger here unless TenZ was able to lurk his way behind.
30 seconds left.
But you can see that the EDG players are willing to take these fights. And it has been an expensive round.
Yeah. Softened up.
John's running away with 1 HP, seeing what other mischief he can get up to.
The cage, okay, Shark Dart at least chasing him down.
But that is not bad. Smoggy's still got some money in the bank, so is Simon, so it's not going to be the most devastating knock to the EDG economy in the world, but it's going to soften it up slightly for round 3 and make it easier for Sen to get on the board.
Yeah.
I think that A lobby fight, though, and pushing nobody off the A line is going to be massively important. But EDG often make it feel like it's only the Sova playing there, and if you try to take that fight, suddenly they collapse onto you with a big A lobby ambush. So you do have to be careful. You see in this round, they've got 4 players stacked up defending that side of the map there, EDG. And they're not throwing Util out right at the beginning. They're waiting to see if Sentinels try to take that space before they hit the ambush. So they went exactly for that strat.
So I'm going to be using a little bit of kit, making sure that they can clear the way, just get rid of the trip. Mid-round information as well from nobody. He's just using that drone, but it was broken. There's still a bit of uncertainty, but this whole time EDG have taken deep A lobby control. You can see Kangkang is posted here. This angle, just removing the drone. Cage up into his face. We'll have to use the stun to slow down any approach from Sen in case the punish was there.
Smoggy still has paranoia in his hands as well.
Yeah, he's not giving up the space. Kangkang could thrive into this spot and position a bonus round conversion in his sight. Still flash has to be avoided, still gets the one. Great adjustment and snap back with a crosshair placement. 40 seconds left for Sentinels, and the question remains, which way are they trying to land? And NeuroFF will give them critical information to work with.
It looks like they're going to group up over towards A, but that's still where Smoggy and Simon are.
30 seconds left.
No easy openings, 25 seconds left. Jump spots. Smoggy sees it, catching it. A lot of information gathered. Fault line is good though. Just concatenates on top, and Simon just trying to play this tight angle. Blinded up from the side, still lands that shot. Traded though, plant down for John QT, nothing to push this one back.
Ridiculously good supportive utility there from Zelsis and TenZ.
Nobody's going to be praying that somebody opens up wide, but up onto the heaven angle. Zelsis, who's claiming that one, dropped down. Double digits of health, but there's only Chichu left with the Bulldog. They're here to reload. It gives TenZ the prime opportunity to just pre-aim onto the angle.
A big round for Sen to get onto the board, but a difficult one still. EDG fighting tooth and nail to hold on to these spots. And you can see this team, they got some dangerous setups on the defense side. I think in terms of that team play that EDG were talking about and their preparation, this is the best tournament for them.
Yeah.
Even if you contrast it back to Tokyo, that was more individualism. And Kangkang waking up and having the world's most wonderful op performance we've seen from a player, I would argue. this version of EDG seems like they've put in a lot more thought to their game and tactics on top of that.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that, you know, despite you could look at some of their opponents this tournament and you might not be too impressed in terms of who they've actually bested. But for me, I've been paying attention to how they've been trying to play. And look at this, bit of a trap play setup, but stun missing. Hello, accidental kill. Right through the wall, bit of unfortunate action occurring, at least for John QT, not unfortunate for EDG.
But they respam it, and so both teams come out of that fairly similar. But with the Cypher down, this opens up different options. EDG could now try to push aggressive and get flanks off against SEN. And SEN could group up and go for a big site execute onto C, where the Cypher's now got no utility. EDG don't choose the aggressive option, though. They're keeping players anchored to C to try to make up for that fact.
Nobody has the rifle. Nobody has the rifle, but as he's looking for that information, I mean, that's what happens when a drone is used a little bit prior. Didn't have it to try and safely garner it. At least there's going to be relay bolts as well, and space given. Yeah.
This is ridiculously good from SEN. That lurk timing from Zelsis is marvelous.
Wait,
but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and Smoggy's right back in there. The Paranoia is already sent out. That's preemptive. Outlaw in the hands of 140. Zekken down to the double digits, but still alive for now. Flies to the side. And he is the spearhead. Like, literally in this case, man. Cracks open the C site, despite the resistance that EDG were trying to put up.
Doesn't seem likely that Kankong would be able to pull this off, but he is an extraordinary player. If he had the stun to work with, maybe he'd be able to isolate a 1.
A wall to get in 2, but honestly with his money low, in a 1v3, best course of action probably going to be the save.
Yeah, he's just seeing there whether anyone's going to give him a free duel, but Sentinels going to play with a bit more discipline than that.
Well,
they're looking to try to take the gun.
Yeah, they understand the importance of this one. Sentinels thinking ahead.
Bye-bye.
Zekken, head clean off.
Go, go, go.
Sen realize it. They're in danger of just being trapped down to the spike, so they're going to do a bit of a mad dash, but it does bring us down now, at least 2-2 in terms of the rounds.
And it's nobody, the newer IGL for EDG, that actually gets the wrong read on this round. You see him being caught there going for the re-clear on A. He'd called for his team to reinforce the C site, because in his head, that's the most logical place for Sentinels to end. You've just killed the defending Cypher. Why not hit that site where the anchor player is no longer there? So they reinforce C with Simon, Smoggy, and keep A very weak. Nobody tries to hold it on his own, gets punished for that. Not necessarily hubris, though. It's just you can't cover the entire map when you're in that position. Perhaps he should have dropped off site, but nobody is a very confident player. And we're going to see this version of EDG's trap being run on their eco.
Trouble is Kankanger's going to be falling prey. Yep, Zekken glides his way forwards to a nice little win, and he's covered over the shoulder once more by Tens. Spraying away, it matters not about that paranoia. Smoggy, they know he's playing somewhere nearby. It's all about clearing them out. They've got that diligence, TP up and over, and certainty for Smoggy. Just the one before his drop.
All of the coordination working really brilliantly there for Sen. That additional pause that Zekken throws into things just to allow Tens on top of the box. They've been doing a lot of that. In a 4v1, Shishu once again finds himself in a spot that's simply unwinnable. 9 HP.
Listen, it's a nice shot under Sacy. But with Sentinels now taking the lead, by the 1 round, it looks like they've regained a little bit of that composure just from losing some of the prior rounds, but it's Sen kind of running away with it.
And they've also now experienced that A-lobby delayed crunch, but it was on an eco, which was easier for them to deal with. These players swinging in from EDG did not have big rifles to be able to take the fight to them on an even basis. And so that should actually help Sen in the future figure out, okay, we had an idea of how to deal with it. Did it work? Do we need to make adjustments if there's going to be rifles up in the future? They did look pretty set on that, though. The stun coming out over towards A-Long was nice. It wasn't right at the beginning of the round. Both teams feeling each other out very well. But Sen coming on top and EDG take attack timeout.
Yeah.
It seems like a good time for it. You just lost 3 in a row back into a big rifle.
Summing up, I mean, there's plenty of ultimates sitting. Simon's got his rolling thunder, nobody. The Hunter's Fury, you could definitely cook, try and make something happen. Proactivity maybe on your defense.
One of the areas that I'd like to see EDG explore is trying to create mid-pressure and make it very difficult for Sentinels to just walk into grass anytime they like. If you can do that, you're more likely to burn the drone out of Sacy, which means it's much more difficult for you to retake over towards A. There's a huge amount of benefits to trying to put some early mid pressure as the defenders. Something that I think Fnatic do fantastically on this map. One of the reasons why they're probably the most dangerous team in the world on Haven.
Yeah, that an alpha, yeah. I mean, that guy is just a demon.
He absolutely is. There's some demonic plays in this server as well, though.
We'll see if EDG can return that fire a little bit to make it even once more on this round right here. Sentinels, though, they're a scary team, a dangerous team over the course of this tournament. Low expectations, I think, overall. From outside, what are the community talking about them?
Absolutely, but I think that made sense at the time, too.
Yeah.
They hadn't had a recent run of great form coming into champs, and they were the 4th seed. No other 4th seed even won a match.
Bait and switch setup, fully blinded up there. Smoggy barely gets rid of the dart, so Kangkang's not revealed in terms of his position, but Simon, I believe, spotted off into the corner. Wall up into his face.
So tempted for Simon to swing that.
Yeah, and Zekken, you can see him. He was holding, waiting, trying to bait him in. Drone to re-clear out through mid. EDG might be looking to try and cook something up.
A re-hit here, through onto B after a little bit of a garage clear. Be a great idea here for Sen. But do they anticipate 2 players garage? It looks like Kangkang should be trying to pull attention and disappear.
There's 40 seconds left out. Sen don't have map control over them through mid, and they are surrounded on multiple fronts.
Simon's a little far away to deny this plant with his ult. Is he going to rip it?
30 seconds.
Yeah, well, the stun at least does connect. He doesn't let the ult go. Aftershock is a little bit delayed. They're lighting up onto second, but still the plant is down. Hunter's Fury trying to layer this one down along with the Rolling Thunder. Cacophony of ultimates, and it is coming up to fruition. Jungkook Tito holding onto the corner. Simon with a reposition, and there's a count for it. Jungkook T dropped down, just can't reset the aim in time. 2v2. The tap. Neurofef reveals it. Fights to be taken down to that 1v1. And Chichu now going to be getting that information. Sacy is revealed with the shots fired off as well. Jump spot, pulls him off. No harm in sight for Chichu. He's tapping away as well, praying for those stray shots to hit. Sacy might need to swing this one. Chichu unable to survive.
When the recon misses there towards the end, Sacy's got a split second to make that decision to swing. Very close to letting that one slip through his fingers. But the player on Sentinels with that Champions Trophy already in the cabinet comes up clutch for them again. A nice attempt by EDG once more to put pressure down mid on the retake. But the plant denial was late. I think that's a bit of an error there from Simon, actually. Led with the fault line and then the aftershock, but it was a bit too delayed. Didn't stop Zekken from planting.
And once more the economy taking a tumble and a fall here for EDG. They don't even have a stack of players over towards A. Just nobody in Kangkang.
No, at this point, Sentinels are absolutely running away with it, assuming they can convert the anti-eco.
Kangkang might have something to say with it. Jump spot. In through the sprint and the glide. Fully accurate. Nobody. Not long for it. Hot shots fired by Kangkang. He's praying that he can land at least one of the targets, hit one of the domes, but all the signs of life that Sen do see to cause him to scurry.
Yeah, you've seen 3 players over on this site. You know that there's max 1, the Cypher, playing elsewhere. They're going to leave 10s inserted. He's always got that Omen ultimate to be able to go back to the rest of his team. But he might end up just walking backwards into Kangkang. No.
Okay, broken. Wait a second. Kangkang.
Oh,
and accounting for it. They've missed each other.
But he's not watching.
Not watching at all, and still damage is done to second. Softened up from the prior engagement still. 10s. Striking from behind. The trade is online. They might want to make their moves now over towards A, but already bodies are rapidly approaching. The trouble is EDG do not have the guns for the job.
And Sentinels can backfill all of this space up to where 10s was, because they know it was only Kangkang that went through.
Bloody hell, I mean, the fault line's dodged here. Simon, there's plenty of chances for him still. He is landing them. The Sheriffs are singing right now for EDG. Defensive smoke. A lot of uncertainty for Sentinels. They can feel it. They're going to try and bail themselves out of this one. The Rolling Thunder is committed. Simon tucked to the corner, but stands out. There wasn't much he could do into that spot. So Sentinels were pushed into a tricky situation, feeling the need to offload some of those critical ults to at least find a way to win that.
But that's very much a silver lining to a Dark Storm Cloud approaching for EDG. A couple of moments where Chaos maybe could have made the difference for them, but I think John plays that really beautifully towards the end. Cage inside the smoke, gives him sound cues if anyone tries to push, and then you see John ping out where Zelsys should ult. The IGL making the call. All right, we've got to invest this ultimate now. It's only me and you.
4-player stack.
It does make this round a little weaker, but SEN have showcased that they can deal with everything that EDG are throwing on defense currently.
Yeah, the mid-rounding is definitely, I think, showing that SEN are currently getting the right reads into rounds, making sure to slow it down at the right moments, and then the firepower usually carrying them over the line if it does get tricky.
I think I'm right in saying the only time they've contested C fully is when they went for it on the pistol round.
Yeah, it feels like the pistol round, at least from my memory. Drone is used hyper committed into A lobby, so Sentinels are going to be aware that that control is given up to EDG.
Certainly looking like an execute's going to come through here on C. Smoggy has his ult to try to reinforce, but is he going to be fast enough with a smoke?
Not going to be broken here. The Hunter's Fury clears his way through and back and around here. The fault line was dodged by Chichu. Has found himself and carved out a little bit of a pocket and space to play around. Paranoia still here, but the aftershock is way too much. Just singeing his feet. Chichu just couldn't stand still amongst most of that fire. Second offloading it with the overdrive. Peppering them, some stray shots. EDG are going to need a pick to see if they can make this one doable. Zekin overextending ever so slightly, but still he's good for the kill as well. That tracking! They just can't get a handle or any sort of control on him. It's precise. Kang almost there. Could have provided a chance, an opportunity, but Smoggy's been left alone into the 1v3, and TenZ picks back up that position. Low enough as well, but again, surgical by TenZ.
It's looking like a great day for TenZ out there as well. 11-4 after only 8 rounds. That's pretty ridiculous. If you look at players that have had outsized impact, outside of just the main duelists, where you're going to see great performances from Kang and Zekin no matter what, if you look at who's had the biggest impact for Sentinels and EDG, I'd be looking towards TenZ and Smoggy. And the fact that they're on those smoke rolls, fighting against each other right now, gives you a great comparison. At the moment, TenZ is just getting involved in way more on the attack side, trading people out. Again, finding moments to dominate with his impact. His raw aim so strong.
And SEN are just going to disrespect the early A lobby. Util that was dished out by EDG. They're holding, considering, I think, and waiting to see if there is that re-clearance. Strunk UT does need to be careful. Opens himself up to that angle there, but again, it's the weaponry. I mean, EDG have not been able to recover any sense of that. Nothing built up in the bank.
You see there, John using a cage again for the sound cues, making sure that he can't get pressured as he takes a little more space towards mid. They're being very cautious on these anti-eco Sentinels. They don't want to get tripped up. But it is incredible that EDG have only won the pistol and the follow-up. Where's the punish here? Where's the cover?
Yeah, nobody watching, just in case that was that punish here. Chichu, a couple of shots, backs away with his life, but just pulling apart the EDG defense. Second, build up by the cam, stunned up at that. Unlikely to see that follow-up. The mortar time does get dragged down to the finer moments. Might see opportunities for EDG to strike. Aftershock pushing them back and away from the plan. Zelsys going for round 2, needs to be covered, and TenZ has it. Pushed up, high ground angle. Chichu dropped, nobody. Off onto the extremity, flawless from Sentinels. You can say that from round 3 onwards.
They've always been in control. Have there been some dangerous moments where EDG have hit a nice shot, got into a good position? Yeah, of course. You're always going to get that with a team as good as EDG. And yet, SEN have sailed away. Clean swept the last 7 rounds in a row. Kang's finally going to bring out that operator. The economy's been damaged, been in ruins.
Not just Kang, it's double op.
Double opping.
Yeah, Smoggy.
It's not round 12. They don't have money.
Sentinels, bit of early orb farming as well. See if they can get that rolling thunder online. Zelsys is now 1 away from it.
And they have been prioritizing this smoke at the top of C long as well, which cuts off Smoggy's sightline. He's not sure whether someone's tucked into Cubby, as Sacy has. He also doesn't know if someone's going to peek him from the right or the left. It's a tough situation to play with the op.
Yeah, and it might come down to reactions if he gets peeked.
I mean, he's also going to get pressure from Garage unless Chichu can hold that off.
Drone sees it. Off spotted. Out for Garage now. Pincer play by Sen. Try and make their moves in through the C site now. Ball cuts it up. You can see there's an awareness at the back of the heads of Sen. They're worried about this operator in play. At work. Paranoia is used to clear most of the way alongside the dart. There's many waves to the util. Celsius with the plant. He will get his ult online from this one. Everybody grouped up from EDG, setting themselves up to try and play for the retake, but it's preemptive. Sen using this to try and strike. Chichu's there. Offset though, nobody covering it. An overextension by Sentinels. Now it's up to these remaining players if they can pick up the pieces, but the stun is immaculate and the spray down from Celsius. Only the Wonder is troubled.
If Sentinels had had any idea there was a double operator set up in this round, I don't think they would have gone for such an aggressive post-plant option. But they didn't want to allow EDG all of that util advantage.
That's nasty.
And that's a crazy double kill from Chichu. EDG have been waiting for a moment like that the whole time. And the double ops did not particularly contribute there.
I accidentally hit my escape
key
key.
in hand. And that round, Kong actually had the Neon ultimate to be able to make up for it. When he goes for the retake, he doesn't have to just play slowly behind his team, holding angles for them. Now, however, you take a look at what's going on for EDG, and he doesn't have that to be able to back himself up.
Yeah, use just in case they get overwhelmed and swarmed here. Just that EDG's defensive setup. Even B entirely open for the taking. Obviously, Sentinels don't know this one. It's been cautious from beginning to end in most of these rounds as well. High priority to try and break some of this util through, but the trip is spotted. It was a kill trip that Chichu was hoping to play off of. Bit of spam through the wall.
Second movement is so nice in these spots as well. Jump peeking scenarios where he might be thinking about an EDG player tucked in an angle. So difficult to play a one and done against a Neon with good movement like that. Here's another Neon, though, with a big weapon.
Let's go and re-exploring. Risky, but you're down so many rounds that sometimes risks need to be taken. Doesn't break down the drone. It's a fault line as well. Does catch. Slow down to a cruel cage on the cross. Sowing a bit of that misinformation. Sentinels trying to make it feel like they could be retaking over towards A lobby. Dart's going to be used side by side, though, shoulder to shoulder. These players unaware that they've crossed up. And Smoggy now isolated. He's on an island through the back of the site. The Utah once more. It is impeccable. Trying to dodge and weave around from this play. Chichu and Simon now. It's a quick flood attempt in through the back. Picking up these rifles in their hands. These are the upgrades. Hunter's Fury scatters through. Fights to be taken by EDG. That could be set up for success on most of it. Sprayed down. And with the Hunter's Fury dropping John QT, it's another round earned. EDG can add that to the tally.
What a sick defensive read by Nobody. I want to give him his credit here because he got the wrong read in a prior round that started this avalanche away from him. But this time, he'd already called the rotate over to C as he was smoked off. Drone had already cleared. Fault line. He knew, at least he should have thought, that Sen were starting to take space over on A.
Yeah.
He just did not buy that at all, was not convinced of what John had put together. Called his bluff. Hits everything perfectly.
The pistol round and a few stray gun rounds. What a shot, Kang! Flexing his muscles. Second. My God, yeah, Tens is as well, but they don't realize and anticipate. Okay, Chichu is going to get dropped here right through the smoke. CDG trying to attempt to flood their way through. Nora Fifth reveals all. And Tens will make full usage of it. Paranoia. Connection. Movement from Kang is the only surviving element. And praying for a shot to connect there to make it just a little bit more winnable. But for Sentinels, primed and ready for that 8th round. Just a shorty to work with. There are so many angles as well. Gotta be worrying about the high ground where Tens have been perched up. It's a double hold out through the back. The cam tagging him. You have to play into this round as a last chance in the half. But it's futile. He's been given nothing. Toyed with darts. He's having to deal with it all. It's all being dished out. One last hurrah by Sen. And that time, fully against him. A bit of a flourish, but still 8-4. Sentinels maintain that lead all the way for the first half of Haven.
And it would have looked even more dominant had EDG not been able to pick up a really important pistol at the start. Tens continues to be immaculate in these rounds. The teleport with his ultimate into back B, the kills through the smoke. He's untouchable right now.
17-7. Yeah, doesn't get much better than that. Leading the charge, kill leader in the lobby. Doesn't look like he's slowing down at all in the slightest. Absolutely incredible match so far. We're going to send it down to the floor for a nice little interview.
everyone, it's Bella back with the halftime interviews. I'm joined by Zekin's mom and Tense's uncle. Hello, 안녕하세요. Okay, first, Tense's uncle, you know, Tense is by far, I feel like, the most famous Valorant player in the world. What is it like having such a superstar nephew?
이렇게 텐즈 선수가 워낙 이제 전 세계적으로 유명한 발로란트 선수인데 이런 슈퍼스타 조카를 둔 소감이 좀 듣고 싶습니다.
It's an honor to, like, honestly, the kid's on a different level. I wish I could take some, like, credit for some of the skills he has, but yeah, he's a different planet.
뭐 완전 영광이고 아무래도 뭐 텐즈 선수가 이렇게 잘하는 게 내 덕이야라고 조금은 말하고 싶지만 그냥 어나더 레벨 너무 대단한 선수라고 합니다. And do you have anything you want to add? I heard you can speak a little Korean.
안녕하세요, 여러분. 제가 텐스 삼촌 크리스예요. 텐스가 게임 하는 거 제가 다 알려준 거예요. 감사합니다.
다 알아들으셨죠? And you know, 제켄 어머니도 저희에게 좀 보여주고 싶은 게 있다고 하셨는데 한번 물어보도록 하겠습니다. And Zeken's mom, hi, nice to meet you. And I heard that you have a little something, especially the Korean fans.
안녕하세요.
Okay, 안녕하세요. And I heard there's also a little something that you wanted to show.
Okay, you ready?
All right, let's do it. Let's dance. Let's close out with the dance. Okay, let's go. All right, back to Haven.
That is just incredible, man. That is just incredible.
Oh, that's killed me going back in. That has killed me.
Okay. Sentinels.
She's got better movement than Zekin on Neon.
Yeah, man. Runs in the family. And it's Tense and Zekin, top of their team, showing no signs of slowing down. And this Sentinel squad, they have looked scarier as the tournament has gone on. The expectations, I think if you were watching some of their games heading into champs, wouldn't be too impressed with them, but they've proven that you cannot doubt this squad. They are consistently evolving.
From game to game,
yeah.
The game plans, the execution of it, the teamwork, it's all looked extremely strong. In this round on the pistol, Sentinels expecting a bit of pressure over towards A. That's not the case, but you're walking into Tense again, who's top of the scoreboard.
Potentially cut off from the sideline, though.
Looks slightly indecisive here from EDG. They don't like the look of what they just saw. So perhaps this stack from SEN may end up paying off anyway.
It's all just been quiet, silence. Jiggle spot from Zekin is the only thing to catch a contact of A short, and guess what? There's no EDG players there. It could work to their advantage, but...
That paranoia looks like it's going to be huge.
Yeah, not just that. Fault line, Zelsis. He's got it primed. So it's going to be used. An eye for an eye here with a U-turn. Kang! He's right there, still surviving, still kicking, and he wants to take even more away from them. 2 removed before the trade is intact, but Zekin still here alive, worried about this flanking play, but the adjustment is there, at least with the micro aim. Drops Chichu. He's still the thorn in their sides. The paranoia sweeping through. Zekin plays his life. Sacy opens himself up in through heaven. There's chances here and accounted for. Nobody's seeing it. The trade though, nobody. Great adjustment. And they're aware that Zekin was playing down towards here. There was not enough distraction to give him an in. Win cons are narrow at that. Simon off angle. Just can't drop in. One bullet will do it. Zekin somehow still alive in the midst of all of this. One is about to hard. Still the movement. Just couldn't escape and get out of dodge. Nobody. The bullet to the brain. Zekin falls, a 3-piece for him. And a pistol round for EDG. Potential now to make a bit of a comeback.
Major round for nobody to get on the board. He was absolutely crucial there to be able to clean up. How on earth has he got John in that situation?
Right kick team.
Yeah. Nobody being able to avoid that trade that came from heaven though, absolutely critical. Keeping himself alive so that he could trade out on Zekin in short to close things. That brings the gap down to 3. And EDG are going to make it.
That's cheeky.
It is very cheeky. I love the addition of these kind of strategies that SEN have thrown in. They were doing this kind of stuff on Lotus as well. Smokes that go into walls, create small pockets for you to dodge recon utility.
That's not going to be met. Sentinels obviously on their eco going to be trying to set up this trap play, but EDG, unless they choose to re-explore over towards C, which for now seems unlikely. You never know.
EDG playing with a lot of caution to begin these rounds. It's somewhat similar to what we saw from Sentinels. Cam taking contact over towards grass. The rest of the team ponderously walking towards B or A, staying grouped up as well, making sure that SEN don't catch any of them off guard. I mean, apart from Chishu, obviously.
They don't want to give away any of these guns. Everybody invested from EDG, not trying to, oh, wait.
Trip was broken on the flank here. This should be a normal, like, reacting to A, no problem, easy call.
They're going to go for that. So EDG open. Still a little bit worried as well because the defensive smoke. Celsius has found Chichu. That does give away the gun, but got to imagine with side control, EDG as well. Spades at a util, Kang.
They're worried about the flank. They're thinking about pushing spawn and flipping the map. They decide not to, and it turns out that's the right call because most of SEN are back.
Time's going to start ticking here. Again, advantage should still be for EDG. Got the guns, 10s, okay. That's ridiculous. Second's been played in as well. All the crosshair placement being slipped up and around here. Kang is worried about these swings. No way, Sentinels can't be getting away with this. Off onto the flank, they double up players as well. Smoke once more, the dart has to be broken. Nobody's sticking this one. Sacy finally under the defuse, but everybody dropped. EDG.
The house of cards came crumbling down. Tumbled to the floor. There is such a thing as being too cautious in some of these rounds.
Yeah.
And I think EDG gave way too much space and respect there to SEN. Sentinels pull off the MasterCard Thrifty. And first of all, they isolate Chishu, right? But that only gets them one gun. It should still be difficult for them to come back into the site. The rest of EDG are backed up, trying to play passive post-plant positions. And Tenses, I can just they'll immediately take that space.
That's what I mean. Everybody's focus is on Tens when he TPs into the smoke that he just placed down, plopped down in through the middle of the site.
And suddenly, EDG's attempt to get back into Haven looks like a far cry. A gap almost looked like it was going to be down to 2, and yet here it looks like it's going to be extended to 5. That's what a difference that one round makes.
Chichu's hoping that player would open himself up through into mid, give him an easy access to a shot, maybe a kill. Some of the change of tide that's currently been fully against them in this map. Cut up onto the corner though, no util, that was contact by Kang.
Didn't hear the trip, didn't hear a cam, thought it would be open.
Flat down onto B.
Celsius,
late.
A little late with it. I mean, usually Celsius is going to be playing in the B connector. This time swapping things over, playing top garage. Was a little late on that, so there's chances that EDG could make something funky happen. Smokey's going to go for that garage post-plant flank by the look of things.
First wave used by Sentinel clears out the side as well, so they've got peace of mind. Zenton's sticking this, got half already. Aftershock a little bit late. Trip is nice in case they do extend themselves out and try and take the fight past this point of almost no return. Very weak wars, flimsy paper mache at that Smoggy off from the side, but Zekin cleaned it. At least diffusing, sticking all the way while the rest of his team does press that advantage. So there was some level of danger. EDG get that plant down on playing the post from that spot.
You get rifles online and suddenly that round is super dangerous though. EDG had some nice ideas about how they wanted to play the post plan. You know, the early garage information could have set up Smoggy. I really like Chishu's setup as well. He had Cam and Trip. That Trip is so tough for the retakers to deal with, but he got spammed through the wall and at that point, util goes down. EDG, though, need to start putting this kind of stuff together on rounds that are super important, those rifle eco swing round moments. And they're going to take a tactical timeout here. The last one off the map to try to get things back on track.
This is their map pick as well at Haven that's just going so poorly. I mean, I was so ready to sing the praises of EDG, I think, in terms of preparation they put in as well. I mean, we're always going to talk about individuals popping off. And the form has been there. I mean, Kang is sitting at 15 and 12. Right at the top, he's definitely been earning himself a lot of kills, but coaching staff of EDG definitely seems like they put a lot of emphasis into anti-stratting, making sure that they can pick apart what teams like to do on certain maps. But for Sentinels, this team that we've mentioned are ever-evolving, always changing it up, getting scarier and scarier. This cat-and-mouse game where you're just trying to play catch-up, some of the prep you might have done to anti them might not even be true anymore.
Absolutely, especially considering that they've only played this Neon version of their Haven comp. once before.
Yeah.
And they crushed. So they didn't have to show everything that they have in the back.
Very much all in by EDG. Timeout has to be taken to convert at least this round.
And on the attack side, you need Smoggy to start getting involved as well. He's been one of, if not the most impactful player for EDG in their run at champs. He's absent right now.
Oh my goodness, okay, Kang. Fast play, zips his way past there. Zekken's going to be revealed up as well, but has to respect most of this one. Sacy trying to play with the drone that was used prior, gets the tag onto the one, but pushed back and away. But a player dropped on the side of Sentinels. This is the opening that EDG were praying for.
Kang's delivered them another one.
Second going for that re-exploration, looking for the info. Simon's tucked, only the shoulder. Smoggy's there to supplement as well, help him. Ow, what is that movement? Second just counters it, Simon. It's an absolute worldie with that shot right there. And the reload bullet sprayed down to the bitter end. Simon, quick to capitalize.
Some incredible shooting to get EDG back into things there. TenZ is gonna hit
all
of these rotates.
Footsteps.
He might be able to cut somebody off as well. Nobody was thinking about going through the garage. That would have been a death sentence. TenZ is right here behind them though. If EDG pause for a moment, he's going to have the backstab.
Yep. That smoke at C is going to be fading. They are not going to anticipate this. He is so quick right there behind them.
He
in a
needs his own smoke to
2v3,
fade.
and it will be dissipating. Opens him up, Simon! He's still there though. This guy's been a savior for EDG in so many moments. The util just narrowly avoided. At least with the fault line, John QT still here. But enough has been done surely for EDG, and they know it. Doubled up high-low. Simon taking that point. 4-piece in the end. That's what EDG needed.
Somebody else to come in and clean up what Kang delivers you with his opening duels and his entrying. How does he get that at all? Celsius should have been way behind the corner there. Wow. These shots, it's absurd what Simon's put together, especially when he's stunned up in the corner. Nice idea from Sentinels, but Simon rips it away. I was talking about Smoggy stepping up, but it's a newcomer that delivers that difference-making round.
Yeah, and over the course of the tournament, Simon has just been impressing over and over again.
Yeah.
Heavy stack from Sen. Misses. Zekken gets onto the line of sight, but feels like a bit of uncertainty. Can't really take the fight that he wanted to here. The drone from nobody should be clearing, potentially. Might just be fading. In fact, it is. So doesn't clear into the corner. Hunter's Fury to push them back and away. One tag. Plenty more players where that came from, and it does soften up a few of them. So EDG feeling a bit weakened, but not deterred away from A.
They've also seen Simon's ripping it on the fake.
He's gone for a fake here, just very much alone, just trying to cut that noise. The Hunter's Fury as well to try and sell this one. Players trying to be pulled back. Sacy, though, he realizes it. There's no follow-up off the back of it. Doesn't hear any footsteps, so Sentinels just contain that. Bring it down into the 4v4, slow it all the way down, realizing that they've lost control, but so is Kang. Losing track of where these players could potentially be. John QT puts him in his place and spraying him down through the cage. All revealed with the neural theft. It's gone tipsy-turvy. EDG. What should have been a great opener, they've overthunk, I think, into the round itself. Teacher's low, great movement. Slightly ajar, just making it so damn uncomfortable for these EDG players to stand their ground and take these fights. Sentinels up to 11.
Didn't really like the fake attempt there. I think it's far too obvious what EDG pulled out in that round. They're sending double ults, but there's nobody scaling off of it. There's no standard util at the beginning, like recon flashes, that kind of stuff. And on top of that, the rest of EDG weren't even set up to hit a site immediately. They were still making that migration over towards the C site. They weren't already in position to capitalize on the timing. Sen cleaned that up a bit too easily there. EDG's eco is... It's weird looking. I don't know if they're trying to half-buy or if they're trying to force it. What's Smoggy doing?
It's all over the place. It's a bargain bin buy, but they're not on the same page with this one. Another fault line to set this up. Early angles from Kang, but he's revealed up. No one deals with that dart. The bolt and the stun just not quite connecting. Still, they want to square him, Simon! God, he's a miracle worker. Survives barely a shred of health. As low as you can go. Cut noise now, go for the rest of the hit, but he has opened this site up now. In and away, John QT. Spraying in through the smoke as well. The slightest of reveals, and the bullets just not quite landing onto Kang, but potentially did enough here. Played Sacy in through, onto the flank, right through the wall. Lands it to the dome. Kang's being dropped now. 3 versus 3. Sentinels still make a go of things here. EDG trying to make that play. Good trade by TenZ once more, but a smoke dropped down. Now with a paranoia, all added on top. Leaving it just down to TenZ, and he's doing damage right through the wall. Isolates the 1 for bullet! Oh boy! TenZ, he just will not be stopped.
What a beast! What an incredible player! He's having a monstrous tournament. He has been performing at outrageous levels. The game against Gen G, his impact today, 21 kills across 18 rounds. And he's just saved them after Simon should have opened the door and made that one unlosable for EDG.
One enemy remaining.
Isolating the angles perfectly, swinging back out. And Smoggy just cannot find a kill today. Another 1v1 kind of clutch situation that he can't win.
Almost every clutch going away SN, almost every single round off the back of that.
He also didn't have armor, by the way, Smoggy, to begin that round. Maybe that could have made a difference.
For EDG now, frantic attempt. It's a tap. Try and pull somebody util out as well. Fake the presence. Second. What? The cage helps him. How's he getting away? That's ridiculous. Glides himself back as well. And back and forth we go. It's EDG scrambling for a chance to get back into this. Second, he's still alive. Overdrive in his hands, and he wants more. Never bite of the apple. But discipline is called for in moments like this, and they temper the round down at that minute mark. Celsius, flash, re-exploration, re-clearing, double held though, and that is Sentinels getting ahead of themselves.
It is good information, however, for Sacy to start pushing out. Could he be the playmaker here?
Odin.
EDG are quite trapped. They don't quite know where everybody is. In fact, they don't know where anybody is.
Full map control lost. Sacy, Smoggy. He's watching for that peek. The slow walk around the corner.
Finally comes alive in this
30
map.
seconds left.
It's down to Celsius, 1v3 spam. Through into the smoke. Plan down from Simon, but the smoke was watched the entire time. And Smoggy's turn to really come alive. It's 4 kills from him in the round.
They need that from Smoggy. He's been utterly crucial for them in terms of accessing their full potential.
Almost doubled his kills.
Second movement, though, is absolutely world-class. And he's only played, what is this, his 3rd map playing Neon?
This year?
This year.
Yeah.
With new Neon as well. I mean, all of the stuff he did years ago playing Neon is it's not all that relevant anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a prodigy, I think, when it comes to, I mean, I'm sure he's played Neon before, obviously, but same setup being used by EDG. Got to claw back these rounds one step at a time. Sacy, jump spot, gets that acknowledgement.
And at no point can EDG make a mistake. One error, like Chishu walking in here, and it could all be over!
Oh, no! Chishu dropped. The flank opened up. And Sentinels, they know that they can play this one nice and safe.
Look at the retake cam. Broken. Nice awareness.
Yeah, shock dart has to be used to make sure to get rid of that one, though, but he planned down. Extension into the round, but this is it. This is where EDG make their stand. See if they can stay alive into this map.
You need good defensive utility here from the post-planters. Paranoia, Aftershock has to be used to keep them back.
It's going to be used. Eye for an eye when it comes to the util. Aftershock even down into hell. Sentinels are being kept out of the fight. Kang will ensure that they don't step past it. Nobody right there with him. The feed is filled up, all with red. And hunting, chasing. John QT, fully blinded. Kang empowered. EDG are still in this fight.
Lovely post-plant situation play there from EDG. That's such a critical round for them to get. Those 2 in a row from EDG have now knocked the economy for SEN.
Enemy remaining.
Which is the first time.
It's
apart
over.
From, you know, follow-ups from pistols or whatever. So those chances, 6 of them, narrowed down to 4. EDG still can't afford to make a mistake. It must be flawless from here on out to get us into overtime. And we've seen, I mean, even if you think back to yesterday, G2 playing against Fnatic, They're having to be flawless in that situation. Wild things can happen.
Oh, yeah.
Triple spray downs, full blind, they can occur in games like this. So you never want to be in a spot like EDG currently is, where one big play or one mistake can send you rattling forwards onto Sentinels map pick of Lotus. And all the pressure is on your shoulders.
No more breathing room.
EDG are one match win away from being able to get a top 3 spot. And not just a global event, not just a Masters event, a Champions. Something they've never managed to achieve before. And that's top 3 minimum. Who knows? They could go further, perhaps. And yet today, they haven't been able to access that full potential just yet. They're going to need 4 big rounds to show us what they're truly made of.
With no room for error. These players have been in similar spots before. They know you have to take it one round at a time. For Sentinels, economy dropped all the way down. You can see it just from the 2 sheriffs that are being worked with.
Do they have a eco round strategy to work with here? Yeah, it's another one of those smokes that goes inside a wall. But the idea being you can dodge the recon dart, and Zekken can swing out from an unexpected position. He's also playing anti-flash in that spot as well, right? If Simon did go for that flash through bricks. But EDG not going to send with any pace on the anti-eco. And they have been playing these kind of rounds really slowly, very cautiously.
Which does potentially open themselves up to mistakes being made. Sentinels are going for the full migration.
John's heard the drone.
The attempt to pull some players away, at least nobody, they're seeing no signs of life. You feel so worried into this spot if you are EDG. Potentially even committing. I mean, full bodies, players making their way over towards the seaside. Guess what? Sentinels are ready to meet them. See if the weaponry does make that difference here. With a stuns, util offloaded into the corner. Kang just can't really hold it down with a steady ground, but still, as those smokes fade away, overdrive! Kang! It's galvanizing. An electric performance from him, still adjusting TenZ. Difficult shot for him to hit. Sheriff in hand, 4-piece, hunting down the remaining player. John QT quaking in his boots, but he will not give up that ace.
I love the determination with which Kang hunted for that one too. It would have been far better for Simon to pick up the kill, get his ult online for the next round. Got to imagine that EDG are fairly confident about getting those ults up anyway. Ult orb over by C hasn't been contested too much by Sen. Maybe this would be the round to pull out some kind of play like that. Fight over one of the orbs. Kang with all of those kills has now overtaken TenZ and Zekken, who are tied at 21 apiece. But they still got to get 3 more of those. Now Sen have rifles back. Here's that same strat again.
Yep. Hiding away. Edge of the smoke just might reveal the hand of Sen of what they're going for here. The drone has to be broken. EDG making an attempt to play for that A lobby control, inserting Smoggy, potentially for the long hauls. Util's going to be used, pulled out of them. They don't want anything to do with it. Hunter's Fury could get some tags onto a few of these players. Yeah, Kang. He was dodging, was weaving, was hoping that it would be unaccounted for. And here's the reaction. EDG now making the moves over towards C.
Who gets the plant in this position? Okay, nobody throws the spike over to Simon. That's going to get them Rolling Thunder active. Do they play aggressive with it?
They want to.
We saw Sen fail in this spot before.
They're going to let it loose. Let it rip in through the back. But it's so easy to overextend if you're the attackers. That's broken. That's the trigger. They want to try and go for this one. Smokes in their face. Aftershock as well. Rifles in play at work. Fault line. And get Sentinels back into the fight, back into the fray. Cut them up. Paranoia is perfect. Players are there. Sliding, gliding forwards. Chichu is dropped to his knees. And for EDG has to watch in dismay as the spike is defused, the map is stolen away. Their map pick of Haven. And now you have to stand up to the test that is Lotus, excuse me, for that map too.
A great opener from Sen. A squad that are just getting scarier and scarier.
Evolving as the course of the series goes on as well. The series, of course, to be concluded. EDG could still battle back, but it's going to be a hell of a task when Sen are playing like this.
Trade in any phone in any condition guaranteed and get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.